Welcome to Building Toronto's Skyline, a podcast exploring the current state of Toronto's construction and development industries from a unique construction perspective. Through engaging and entertaining podcast interviews with the many stakeholders in the industry. This podcast is brought to you by Fusion Corp, a construction management company. Here's the founder and CEO of Fusion Corp Development Inc., and author of Building Toronto's Skyline and Battle of the Skyscrapers, the host of this podcast, Nick Ainis. Hello, Nick.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing today? You keeping cool? It's a hot one out there.
It's getting hot. Yeah, I lost my cat.
Tell me about this. Where did you lose your cat?
Lost my cat again. We're doing a reno. I think the cats get kind of scared, and when there's a lot of activity in the house, and she disappeared once. She came back, and we thought that would be it, and she left again.
I'm sorry to hear this.
Yeah. We're gonna find her though.
Well, good luck finding your cat. What color is this cat? I'll keep my eyes open.
Orange type tabby. So, I gave you a poster.
You gave me a poster. What's the name of this cat? If I call the name, Kira. Okay, so everybody, if you see an orange cat, looks like it's missing. Kira, let Nick know.
Yeah. All my Brampton friends.
Okay, Brampton. Okay, I was going to say, let's localize this. I got to keep my eyes open on bike rides.
Bit later. So we have Naama here. This is a very exciting moment. Naama, welcome. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Good. Thank you.
That's good. So I looked you up on did some research on you. You are all over the internet, which is pretty exciting, and I think we're going to have a great conversation here, and you're going to enlighten us with some amazing, bright ideas. And one of the reasons why we had you on the show, not just because you're amazing, of course, but one of the reasons why is because we had our first woman participant in Building Toronto Skyline. It was another architect from Veronica Madonna. And I said, hey, let's make it a all-women's month at Building Toronto Skyline.
Okay.
So it morphed into this theme, and you're part of it. And not just because you're a woman, but because you are got some amazing ideas that I think the industry needs to hear about.
Great.
Yeah. So welcome aboard, and let's get started. What do you say?
Sure. Let's go for it. I'm still on the cat, It happened to me when I was 9, and she never got back, just so you know. I want to prepare you mentally.
Well, yeah. Well, we had 5 cats, and we've been through the ups and downs of cat life, so it's a sad stuff, but
yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're going to find her because we saw two neighbors located her the other day, and we're optimistic that we're going to find her again.
Okay, good luck. Let me know.
Then we're going to put a chip in her and a collar, and then we're going to find her via GPS next time. But anyway,
that wasn't a thing when I was 9. So
yeah, I'm sure it wasn't. But so this is very exciting, and let's get to the heart of the matter. I like to get to learn about people before they start. Tell us a little bit of your life story, and starting as early as you can or as early as you want. And tell us where you're from, and you have an amazing name, Naama Blonder, and
Naama. It's actually pronounced. It's in Hebrew, and it's Naama. So it's
Naama.
Someone told me namaste. And I said, okay, I'll take it. Not at all
Naama.
My personality, but sure, at least people will know how to pronounce it.
Naama. So I already screwed up.
No worries. We never actually met before, so it's okay. So I already told you about my cat, so that could cover my childhood.
Yes,
but
good.
I moved to Toronto almost 12 years ago from Tel Aviv. And
so you're from Israel then, right?
Yes, Tel Aviv is in Israel.
Amazing.
And one of the reasons that I'm so vocal about affordability is because as a 26-year-old, I remember that feeling that the numbers didn't end up. Like it was just that feeling that I mean, I should say that in Israel, if you're in tech, you are making like Bay Area, salaries. And
Right.
if you're not, there is a tech bubble, definitely. And I mean, in a good way, but it's like Israel GDP is probably coming from tech, which is an interesting fact, by the way.
Yes, it
The
is.
GDP
Yeah.
per capita in Israel is the same as in Canada, which makes you wonder. Uh, and I moved here because, and I know it's hard to believe right now, but Toronto was my affordable option.
Oh, wow.
And since then, I, watched Toronto's affordability in decline. And I know what it will mean for the city. People will leave. Are already living, right? Like we're already talking about it. We're already seeing it. I'm just asking people to imagine this place in 25 years from now if we don't really gonna change things and how we approach housing.
Right. Well, it is definitely a factor, and it's affected our industry. And look at the condo industry is completely dead. Whether it was, whether that option is good or bad, or I mean, I think you need a mixture of everything at the end of the day, because there's some, so there's condos that are, important to have, and, they're part of our process. But I can see what you're saying. It's over the years, it's become more and more difficult for affordability, but also businesses, and the economic climate in Canada is challenging, so to speak. And I think it has a lot to do with taxes, but I'm not going to get too political here. But there are tax issues that are occurring, and we're spending more money than we earn in the municipalities. And you know what? It goes down to show, like, how do we help people? And I think you're on it. There are solutions for housing. There are economic and design options and all sorts of things. And I hope
I was actually hoping that, to see from this crisis that some creativity is coming up. Like, is it the way? And it's hard, because at the end of the day, the way we finance construction, I don't need to tell you, the way we finance new housing is not in the hands of not municipalities and not developers, and it's still, I think it's all come to that, right? Like our condo market, whatever it was very much geared towards investors who were willing, able, whatever you want to call it, to buy something pre-construction. Yes. And when I was talking to developers, asking them, you're just pushing families
further and further out.
Further and further out. And I want to argue that, some want to live in, King City, 4,000 square foot, like, good for them. But I want to argue that many, if the choice was there, would choose to live in a apartment, condo, in a more of an
suburban environment, or urban.
I mean, not suburban, like urban. I suggest that families would like to stay in the city. Yes. Right now, there is no choice for that.
Yeah, I can hear you. I hear you on that. So you came from Israel. Did you study architecture in Israel?
Yeah, I studied there. I got my license there, and and then I moved here. I got my license here, and also I worked here for a very good planning firm. So I said, why not also become a planner? So I'm both. I'm a licensed architect and a registered planner, and it's a really good combo.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, because especially in like the European model, we actually don't separate architecture from planning. Like, planning is this invention in North America to say, it's actually, when you really think about it, it's much closer to what a lawyer does than what an architect does. So it's a funny little niche in the industry that it's a North American thing. Like, if you cross the ocean, there's no one separates architecture from, planning. It's under one. It's a design professional, but
back in the day, architects used to do everything. They were on the building site. They were managing, supervising. If you look at the old architectures, history of architecture, They were multifaceted, and they were pretty much jack of all sort of trades, still, so to speak. But I think we are very specialized here in North America, and people have a lack of wanting to take liability for certain aspects of their industry. And I think combining it makes a lot of sense, because I guess you get the best of both worlds, and you combine the planning aspects and the design, and you're able to offer sometimes a better product, or most of the time you can offer a better product that way.
I mean, of course, it's like, there are stories of architects who graduated in, the 70s and did a competition as when they were still students and won the museum of, like these stories of how they made their career. It doesn't exist anymore. Everything became more complicated. Construction, our buildings, our code. So it's interesting to think of even the generation of the teachers that taught me architecture. They faced a very, very different world of like a path of their career than what architects need to face today. Like even just look on the way to get your license, which I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it is long.
It's much more. It's longer. It's much more difficult to get licensed anywhere in whatever you're doing, and I think that's the increase of regulation that causes, stifles the creativity of the country too.
Everything,
because
and you mentioned
you have so many bright individuals that have the ability to offer ideas and put them on the table, but they're limited because it's so hard to get licensed. It's so hard to be an entrepreneur these days. So,
well, two different things. You don't need to be an entrepreneur to be a licensed architect, and vice versa. But it is interesting. No one, business is not part of anything they teach you at school. And I think architects, you can tell, are lacking the business skill and understanding. And you mentioned that I'm your second female guest, and
yes.
You see in architecture schools that it's majority female, by far. Like it's like 70%. It's like shocking. But then if you look at the percentage of licensed architects, and then it drops to, I believe the OAA, the Ontario Association of Architects, just published that it went from 25% to 30% female.
Well, just so you know, I studied architecture at Ryerson.
Okay, so how was it? Like, was it?
It was interesting.
See the female majority already?
No, back in the day, there was like, I would say it was like 10%.
Oh, okay.
Back in my day, but I'm not that old.
Not the case today. Even when I went to school and I graduated in 2012, it was already. Today, you go to U of T, go to Daniels, it's majority
women,
female. Yeah.
Well, I graduated in 97.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit older than you. Now I'm starting to feel old again.
Slightly. Yeah.
But I feel young. It's okay.
Yeah. No, but it's interesting to think what happened between 97 and 2012.
Yeah, a big transformation in terms of the amount of women participating in architecture program.
But then something drops, right? Like when you're out to get your license, the numbers drop. And we know why, because it's the age when women perhaps become mothers, and then they decide if this is what they want to do, and it's a discussion for sure.
Women tend to be more conservative and safe. They want to pick a more conservative route, and they're not as I'm going to say, this is like my opinion. Don't shoot me, by the way. They're not always risk takers. There are many females that are risk takers, but I would say that perhaps you hit it on the nail. Like it's could be something where they're becoming mothers and they can't do it at that time or that age.
It's definitely a long process. Like you need, I think, 38 hours of internship of like subcategories.
Yes.
Anyway, but yeah.
Well, forget what I said. I'm not. These are
Cut it
just,
out.
I'm a guy, so don't shoot me.
No, it's okay, and it's good that to hear the other side perspective on this,
Yeah,
right?
for sure, for sure. So I guess your immigration to Toronto, I guess that was a perspective that sort of evolved your thinking on housing. If I'm not mistaken, it sounds like it
No, that's
had
a
a
very
big thing to
strong,
do.
that is very correct statement. And I say it, first of all, we already covered kind of family housing. So
Yes.
this, again, going to the Middle East and Europe, families, they live in apartments. Like there's no convincing, there's no cultural stigma around living in apartments.
Yeah.
Here it's like must have the house with the backyard, and that's okay. But we should also have alternatives in the city for those who want to stay, or not going to opt out, to the house with a backyard somewhere really, really far away from the city. And I think we don't have that now. And the other thing that is an observation that I have is that I think even Canadians don't understand is the NIMBY, the not in my backyard culture,
Yes, of course. Yeah.
that we suffer from.
Yeah.
We think it's within our rights.
Entitlement.
And I mean, our planning system definitely empowers people to come and speak out. But it's very misleading to have, a very vocal minority speaking out against intensification, against
Yes,
anything.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
like,
They don't like anything.
you used
yeah.
to think it's just the condos, but now it's like, we just saw sixplexes and like this fiasco. So it's really against it.
Well, I bought an old courthouse in jail in Owen Sound, and I had one neighbor that was just totally against it, and she gathered all the other neighbors, and we had a public meeting, and you hear all the complaints and everything like that.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, some of their points are valid, so you have to listen to them, and I think you have to involve the community in your development project, because I think it's important that you hear what people have to say about it. You do have to give them a voice, at least to complain or whatever the case may be. But I think bending the knee every time something doesn't look politically correct is a problem. You have to look at it, is this good for the city? And if it is, you have to say, I don't care about my next election. I have to do what's right for the city.
Yeah, so no one.
And what's right for the people.
Like I am not yet met. I haven't met the counselor who is saying, I'm gonna I'm sure maybe it's unfair of me to say, but unfortunately, it is highly political. Everything around it. I'm not familiar with the specific case that you just mentioned.
No, that's okay.
But
it's commonplace.
The thing is, I hear the same thing again and again. The same things, the same rationale, the same excuses. Vast majority is not legit. Okay. Yes. It's not legit, and I don't know. I'll be honest. I am not sure about what you said. Yes, they should know what they could. I think a healthy engagement process is setting the boundaries around what they can impact, and what they don't, and make it very clear for them, for the public, what is no longer open to debate. Yeah. And many, many things. And you see, and it's at the end of the day, creating a system that is way less efficient, not to mention taxpayers' money is on the table, not to mention that it increased the cost of housing, because it adds up to be very expensive. So I'm not sure that we have it the best. We haven't optimized it yet.
Well, we haven't optimized it, but do you think the public meetings are necessary?
Public meetings are necessary. The way we are running them today, I think, is very misleading, and I'm saying this first and foremost for the public.
Yeah, maybe it's more like a kangaroo court, and it should be changed a little bit. But Tell me what led to your founding of Smart Density, and I'm sure you worked for a lot of Canadian architects here.
Yes,
And
you have to again to get your license, which is again a great thing. I worked for the planning firm I worked for was Urban Strategies, and then I moved to Hariri Pontarini Architects to get my hours, and then I started Smart Density, which is an architecture and urban planning firm. Right now, July 2025, which is when we're recording, and I don't need to tell you about the market. Like we used to do a lot of architecture and urban planning work combined, taking things through rezoning.
yes,
Really, that was, the secret sauce. What we have noticed is that, and it's funny because I was preaching here about the family housing in the city, but one day we saw a stat that 58% of all new homes in Canada are single detached and single family, like detached houses. And that number shocked me. It shocked me because I know that I was preaching, live in the city, live near transit. I live in a condo with 2 kids, my husband. We don't own a car. We have electric bikes that we use, like it's very certain lifestyle. And that number really shocked me. And then we kind of sat down and we said, okay, let's accept that reality. But we know that the way the suburban model sucks. I don't know if it's okay for me to say it on the air.
you said it.
And then we said, how can we make the subdivisions the best subdivisions we can? And we came up with a concept called Subdivillage, which is basically saying, let's rethink the layout. Let's waste less land on asphalt. We'll make the street narrows, create an atmosphere for the neighborhood. And I just finished a case study comparing our design to like a cookie cutter design, and we yield 38% more in terms of units. And that is only, no magic, only because you have what we call the right of way, the width of the street to be narrower than what we are currently doing, wasting less land on driveways. I encourage everyone, I know it's like I'm describing it, I encourage everyone to Google Subdivillage. And then we got an award. Globe and Mail covered it. And now we are on this new adventure of making the suburbs better, which is funny because you asked me why I founded Smart Density, and it's interesting to think of a little bit of a shift. But it's also interesting, just because we covered business, is to think of how we, crises force us to squeeze our creativity. And I think and that's at the beginning of this conversation, I said that I'm still looking to see what big developers, creative developers, smart developers, which our industry definitely has. I am still waiting to see what they are doing and how they are pivoting. Yeah. So far, unfortunately, I haven't seen anything. Yeah. I haven't seen anything. Like
all they're doing is they're pivoting to rental, but it's the same product.
But it's not in the same volume.
Yes. No, it's
that not. We did our condo, that we had our condo market, and also it's a massive shift. Like, first of all, you need to I don't know the numbers, but you need to, like, the upfront equity is completely different when you do rental versus condo. It's dealing with something that is way longer term, and we all know that our condo developers don't have, many of them don't have that mindset of being
they want to get in and out.
Yeah, which is okay. It's their business model. They have the right to do whatever they want with their business model. But everyone who tells me, "Oh, it's rental," I'm like, okay, it's rental. What percentage? Like, it's actually switched to rental. Pretty low percentage. It could be that the rental takes a big percentage of the activity, but the activity in comparison to what it used to be here 3 years ago is nothing. Anyway, if anyone that of our listeners who saw anything creative, please let me know. I'm still waiting. I don't know, is it selling directly to the buyer? Is it rethinking finance? But so far I haven't seen it. I know some of the very big ones actually closed even announced it that they're closing their shops for the next decade, which is very sad and very alerting.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have been affected by this industry, and it's a tough market out there, even for us. Fusion Corp, we're building, but we had projects that went on hold, and as a result of not being able to sell any condos anymore. And it's disheartening for many entrepreneurs because, we had such a great sort of few decades in the condo market, and now, but this is expected a little bit too, because we were sort of doing something that probably was a model that was not adapting or changing, and we got caught. We got caught in that cycle, and this is what you get when you overbuild in terms of rely on too much of a segment for investors. And, when interest rates go up, we have a problem, and it's all about managing the economy. And but there's a lot of political issues involved in that. It's a lot of global issues happening at the time right now, and it is very sort of volatile world we live in these days. But volatility can be good because it offers new ideas and new solutions. And I think maybe we're at a time where the solutions have to be bold and visionary, and we have to make some changes, whatever they may be, whether it's on the design aspects or it's the way we're building housing. Perhaps we're in a very good opportunity to make some changes. Unfortunately, the construction and development industry doesn't change too dramatically.
So what do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
Well,
yeah,
I'm on that we have a crisis, but we're not going to be able to solve them by old ways of dealing with the problems. I think we have to look at innovation. Innovation will be the key. We have, technology, like emerging technologies like AI, perhaps some sort of innovation in terms of how we build will be a greater solution over the next decade or so. But I think, there's all sorts of new ideas out there that'll solve some of these problems. Not everything, but I think we have to look at that's going to be the future at some point.
Fair enough.
So I believe technology is gonna make a massive change with the way how we build.
And do you think the hype around prefab is justified?
The what? The hype?
The hype around prefab.
Well, I'm not thinking about the hype that they're thinking of. I think prefab, there's probably a way to do something, a way to build that, can change how we look at the industry. For example, a friend of mine, Triumph Roofing Company and Cladding Company, they're panelizing their cladding, or they're trying to panelize the cladding system. I'm built with the Total Precast systems with Stubby's Precast, and they're interesting in the fact that you've got a single source that could build a building very quickly, a superstructure very quickly, and there's like a speed to delivery there. And so I think those are some interesting aspects. I don't think the big hype about modular, I don't believe in any of the hype, to be honest with you. I don't buy any of it because it's all talk and it's just promises, and you actually have to actually do something about it. And I think the innovators have to do something about it. The private industry, maybe with some help from government would be great. But I think it's all about innovation and the private industry that's going to make these changes, including new ideas like you're doing with smart density, right? And and we want to. I think that's where we're headed. I'm not sure if it makes sense, but I believe that our innovation is the only thing that's going to solve where we're at with housing these days. Because honestly, there's not enough trades to build this stuff conventionally the way it is right now. You just don't have the people. And actually more people are leaving the industry
Yeah.
And we don't, and the skilled workmanship is just has been declining over the years. So if they think that they're going to build all this housing, where are they going to get the people to build it? And that's my opinion.
So you're saying construction is okay, interesting. So you're without getting too political, but do you believe that what like the prime minister's plan is, which no one really knows what it is, but whatever he said during the election would be fruitful?
Well, I'm glad he has a plan. At least
I don't know.
At least he's like, I haven't seen any movement on it, but
yeah.
I think we need to give everybody a chance, and but I don't think he's thinking about it too much. I'm not sure who's in charge of that, making sure that this happens. I think that there's refinement of the plan. I think there has to be industry participation, private industry participation in how this succeeds. And, I just don't hear a lot of talk. I hear a lot of noise on the internet. I hear a lot of noise on LinkedIn.
Same.
I listen to some of these ideas. We're kind of exploring that missing middle, sort of, that's really hot topic, I guess, right now. We're exploring is that good? Does it make economic sense at the end of the day? The margins are very low, of course, but I'm open to any idea if it works.
Mm-hmm.
And so, are you designing? So, tell us a little bit about the subdivision planning. Are you planning on putting higher density in on these lots? Is that the idea?
Well, it's really interesting because it is higher density, but not in a way that you would think about it. It's higher density because it's a optimized land use. It's treating the land more efficiently. It's not like it's higher density in terms of height. And when we looked into the history of subdivisions, you see a shift. Like when it started. And what it is today, you already see like it's already denser. It's, properties are way smaller. They also need to deliver, right? Like there's also pressure on them. So with Subdivillage, we basically said, let's come up with a menu of streets. Yes, you will have vehicle streets, but you will also have car light streets and car free streets. So you could have way narrower. And yes, you can still drive. But we believe that design shapes behavior. And if you are making a street that signals the driver, you can't drive here faster than, 10 kilometers per hour, the driver will adjust. And I'm not saying it's everywhere in the neighborhood. These are like very short blocks. So you will drive slowly for a very short distance, but just to get to your garage in and out. But essentially everything around it, it's like traditional vehicle, get into your car and drive, which is a reality that we as urbanists, as architects, need to accept. So I think, if I'm looking, what you said, you said you're testing the missing middle. I'm pretty sure that if you Google missing middle, my name will come up on the first page of Google. There's something that I did that got my name tied way to my marketing is working extra hard. But for me, the missing middle, as an architect, I don't do it. I didn't find the numbers to work. When the laneway suites came out in 2019, I felt that the mentality of people is that they're building a shed. Like I literally got calls saying, "Oh, my garage, I just need to." No, your garage is not appropriate for human beings to live in. Today in the missing middle discussion, we're talking up to sixplex. I think I have a lot of criticism. I don't think that's what Toronto needs. Maybe in the suburbs, that's great to have a sixplex, a fourplex, a triplex. To come here in Toronto and put the responsibility of solving our housing crisis on individual homeowners is I'm just thinking of my parents, right? They're not in real estate. They're not going to take risk in their 70s. It's just absolutely, and the city just released a report on how many permits they issued for the triplexes and fourplexes. They issue 452. I even remember that number. 452 units is equivalent to two 30-story towers. That's not a lot. Like in the days where the market was good, what is two 30-story towers? They got it every week. It's not enough. It's slow. And this mentality of like, don't worry, we're not touching the neighborhoods. We need much more than that. Hopefully, we're now, again, this is July. Hopefully, by the end of the year, the appeal of the OLT appeal of on major streets, the new bylaw to allow 6 stories and 60 units, maybe that will start doing something. Me personally think that should have been the bare minimum to begin with, but the city chose to start with laneway suites. That's on them. I'm sure, we talked about NIMBYs already. I understand how you had to break it down the way in baby steps. But if we're only getting 60% of what we wanted, and so raise the bar, right? Like make your 100% much more ambitious. So the 60% will be meaningful. For me, all that laneway suite and triplexes, you're just making property values higher, and you will make it much harder for anyone to come pick it up, do an assembly, and do something a little bit more meaningful, which is right now not even allowed. So we are again shooting ourselves in the leg a little bit.
Obviously, I think you had part of your career in New York City, and that's a great example of like very large buildings just in a regular street, on a major street. They're all over the place, and it's not only impressive, it's like you can't stop looking at all these amazing buildings as you drive by any sort of major avenue in New York City. So is that what you see as a possibility? Those types
for
of
me, New York is New York, and there's one.
Yeah, there's one New York, but still, that would be great in some of the major streets that we have. No?
Oh, for sure, and I will also say, let me. You mentioned New York. Take a look at our subway system and see how much of the housing supply steps away from a subway station is single-family houses.
There you go.
In Toronto, you're taking the subway, getting out, and it's all single-family houses. This is a problem. Like we can't have a ratio of one family per lot and say, I can't believe, we don't have a way to house millions of people. It's not that sophisticated. Like the math is not that hard to make. And the problem is, going back to the NIMBYs, is that our planning system really empowers them to not only that our planning system saying it's okay to have single family houses on the subway. Now you want to call it a sixplex, fine. We also empower them to come and object anything else, any new development, any new policy, and that is a problem. It's a problem.
Yeah. Well, maybe they have to have planning rationale just to be at the meeting. Maybe they should. You should give them something to write as a submission, and if it's not credible or it doesn't have planning rationale as to why something shouldn't be built,
that's a great idea to flip it on them. There is the city of Yellowknife has done the other way around. Like they put, like if you want single family housing, you need to come to committee of adjustment, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I live in a house, so, and I do like it because
it's okay. Like most of people, that's the choice. You had
But I've
when you
lived.
bought it.
Yeah, I lived in a condo though, so I mean, I've had both worlds, and I liked the condo lifestyle as well. It wasn't bad. You didn't have to cut the grass. You didn't have to shovel the snow. There was people in the building, and I was on the board of directors for the condo corp.
Where was your condo and where is your house?
So I live in Brampton, and I hope no one's going to find me. But
that's okay. Brampton is the house, right?
Brampton is the house. I used to live.
Where was the condo?
Avenue Road and 401.
Okay.
I used to have my office just right around the corner, so I used to just go to the office every day, walk to the office. And it was very, very convenient, and it was great. So
first of all, Avenue Road and 401, there is no transit.
Yeah, you have to walk to York Mill Station.
Yes. How long was the walk?
The walk is about 15 minutes.
Okay.
It's not so bad.
Not that bad. Not that bad. Okay.
No. And then that takes you to the young line.
Young subway line.
Yes.
I will say gently that if I had to convince someone to live in a condo, I would offer an immediate environment. But we have parts in this city that are not the most lively and not the most vibrant. And if you are opting to the condo lifestyle, for me, it's crucial that the neighborhood has amenities, right? Like
you have to have
the
amenities,
retail and So no, not amenities like in the building, like
amenities outside in the neighborhood. Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
That you get outside. The whole point is that we're riding our bike everywhere, and we have a membership to the aquarium. And I have young kids, not like I care about the aquarium. Yeah. But the whole point is that it's a complete lifestyle, right? And I don't think that all Toronto's neighborhoods were born equal in that sense of really, of really providing the benefits. Because for me, the argument is that yes, my condo is much smaller than your house. I don't even know how big your house is. It's for sure. It's a given. It's 3-bedroom, 2 baths. Like I have everything I need, but it's not 2,000 square feet in the 12th floor, right?
Yeah.
And my argument is that everything around me is so, the lifestyle. I don't spend a minute in the car. A minute. Yes. Like I walk to work, to school, I bike if not. Daycare is close. We have stores, everything. I mean, I still go to Costco, but I Uber. So I think with condo, we need anyway, I think I made my point. But
no, you did make a point. But I mean, there are condos everywhere and anywhere. And so you know what? I bought a long time ago. I used to work for Intracorp Development, and I helped build the Pantages Tower, which was the largest residential building in Canada at the time. It was 45 stories. Now we're overtaken by super tall condo structures. But I was there. I bought a unit there, but that's you're at Yonge and Dundas. Great place to be. You're at Dundas Square. You got the Eaton Center. So many things are available and around you. You can easily get to any part of the city that you like.
That would be very different from Avenue and 401.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And Avenue Road and 401 wasn't terrible either. I mean, you have North Toronto.
No, I'm unfair. I'm just giving it as an example.
Yes. No. It's right. And there's condos that are in the middle of nowhere, which makes absolutely no sense.
And it's always sorry, go ahead.
But you're right. You're what appeals to people in most cases, not every case, is creating the ultimate lifestyle where you really get to enjoy everything out of life. And that's all about location sometimes.
It is. And my point is that if you drive, if you find yourself driving a few hours a day, that's not the quality of life that I think anyone is wishing for themselves.
Yeah. And one of the problems that I have is that I can't bike everywhere. Okay. Yes. I cannot, because I have to go to travel to job sites all over Southern Ontario.
Right. How many of us have this type of job that you have.
Maybe not as many as
A small fraction,
yes,
right? Like, yeah.
probably.
So the fact that your lifestyle is car dependent, no joke.
Yes, I have.
But and I also want to say it's like there's no reason whatsoever that our suburbs won't have safe bike network. Yeah. Because you can if you work within Brampton, or you need to go to the Go, or you need to solve the first and last mile. And I think that's really on suburban municipalities to have that. And I think you will be surprised how many would opt to cycling. And it could still be, smaller. I'm not suggesting put a bike lane on the 401. Me as a cyclist, I advocate to separate. Like, don't put bike lane on the very high speed streets. No, not the 401, but there's still there's a discussion here, for example, of putting bike lanes everywhere. Doesn't work. I don't want to ride on Bathurst. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to ride on a parallel slower street.
Well, you want actually
but don't take my bike lane away, right? Like, it's
no, but what's cool is that if you want a bike, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a bike trail where you can get anywhere and it's more private and more enjoyable, and you're not around the busy streets.
But the problem is that we're not even having that discussion. I have a friend in the Netherlands, and I asked him, the Netherlands is not
there's bikes
all
everywhere.
Urban.
There's
they're biking everywhere, and not all of it is urban, right? The Netherlands have their rural communities. Just to be very clear, not everything is Amsterdam. And he said that even in the most rural communities, you can get on your bike to the train, to whatever. You can get on your bike, and that here, why not to have in the slower, more intimate streets in Brampton, in Barrie, bike lanes and by the way, paint is not a bike lane. It needs to be built, it needs to be elevated, it needs to be constructed to be a safe bike lane, separated from cars. And I think it would have increased the quality of life of many of suburban dwellers.
Yes, I think there's something to say about that. And changing how we live and what we aspire to live is something that's going to take a lot of time for Canadians, because we still have this mentality where, we want the house, we want the, sort of single detached house. But that's what I'm saying. But it's not available for everybody.
Suburbs.
It's not available for everybody.
Bring the bike lanes to the suburbs. Someone told me, you can't expect people to ride their bike before the bike lane is built. The same way you couldn't expect people to take the train before the train was built, right? Infrastructure needs to be built, needs to be part of the city. You can't just say, if we see people cycle or bike, we'll build them the bike lane. It needs to be, here's a bike lane. And it always amazes me how cheap it is, environmentally friendly. And let me tell you, I get so faster than any car who is coming to the downtown and driving in downtown.
Yeah. I see it all the time.
I know. I'm riding on my bike, and it's everyone is just stuck in traffic.
Yeah, they're stuck in traffic. Yeah. And traffic is really bad in Toronto now. Very bad. Yeah. But this is so many amazing subjects we've covered today. It's I can't believe it. And it's very nice talking to you as well. And you're full of ideas. Where do you see okay, so you asked me about where I see the future. Now I'm going to ask you, where do you
asked you if you see the future of prefab.
Oh, no.
Same way everyone is like,
no, I'm not on anyone's bandwagon, because you know what? No one's got the real vision. You got to we have to take it to another level in construction. I mean, listen, there's a lot of amazing projects all over the world. We're not building them. I don't think we're building them here, which is sad a little bit, but true.
Where? Give me one location. Where?
Well, I'm shy to say, because you're probably gonna. I mean, Saudi Arabia's got some amazing projects. The Middle East have some amazing projects. Probably they build them in a probably unethical manner, obviously.
Yes.
Immoral, and that's why I thought you were going to jump on me. But they do have bold ideas there. They want to really transform how we live with some amazing projects. I wish we had that kind of ambition here in Canada.
I think maybe Saudi is what China used to be 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the future, everything is happening. I always ask people to be very careful of what they are comparing Toronto to, because in Europe doesn't see a fraction of the growth Toronto is seeing. Not the pressure, not the immigration. Most of their economies are in decline. Like if you look at Portugal or Spain or Italy, it's not at all what's happening here. I mean, Toronto right now in 2025 isn't. We're not doing as well as we did a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to be very careful of, who are we
Comparing to?
Looking up to. Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you. It was a pleasure. We had a long
Yes. So thank you very much. It was wonderful, and that was amazing. So I hope we get to see each other another time, and
absolutely,
definitely, if anything in the near future comes up, I'll give you a call.
Thank you for listening to Building Toronto's Skyline, a podcast exploring the current state of Toronto's construction and development industries. Proudly brought to you by Fusion Corp Developments, Inc. Please share, like, and subscribe. See you again in 2 weeks.